please come through. Members of the bereaved Ruplal, and Satguru families, my respected elders and dear friends, Namaste and good afternoon to you. Indeed, very sad and devastating circumstances have brought us together here today as we gather to bid a final farewell to Praneel Ruplal. It is extremely difficult for me to accept that it was barely a year ago that we met at these very premises to lay to rest your dad, the late Mr. Satya Supersar. Words cannot express our deep sense of shock and sadness at Praneel's sudden passing yesterday morning. Our hearts go out to the bereaved families in your hour of sadness. May God grant you the courage and strength to bear your sad loss with fortitude. There are several messages of condolence. The first is from Dr. Bisram Rambilas, the Arya Samaj, South Africa. On behalf of the executive and members of the Arya Samaj, South Africa, may I convey our heartfelt sympathies to Suchitra and the children, as well as the rest of the bereaved families. The Arya Samaj South Africa shares a long history of close association with the Supersar and Satguru families, both within the socio-religious and political arenas. Our fervent and sincere prayer is that Paramatma will guide and bless you all in these difficult times of your great loss. May I also impress upon one and all that these are extremely challenging and abnormal times that we are living in. Please do heed the call of our President and the Arya Samaj to follow all stipulated safety regulations and be responsible citizens. Take care of yourself and the children, Suchitra. May God bless and keep you all. Om Shanti. Dr. Bisram Rambilas, President Emeritus, Arya Samaj, South Africa. I have a message from the Arya Samaj, Gauteng. It is with deep sadness that I received the message of Praneel's passing this morning. On behalf of the officials and members of the Arya Samaj, Gauteng, I express our deepest condolences to the bereaved family. Although not many of us knew Praneel very well, it was the late Bhai Satya Supersar who made sure we got to know Suchitra and her family quite closely. Bhaiji was an ardent guest at our monthly satsangs, and he would not miss our family gatherings because satsang had a very special place in his heart. On several occasions, he had fondly mentioned his dear family to us by name, and he recalled many special moments. In particular, he looked forward to his daily school and sporting trips with Shravan and Sunaina. Thus, he etched in our minds a picture of your perfect family. May I extend our sincere condolences to the bereaved family. May God bless us all. Om Shanti. Umesh Bahadur, President Arya Samaj, Gauteng. It is very difficult for anyone to console you, Suchitra. I have little poem written by Kevin McCormack, which I trust will bring some solace to you and the family in these times. He called it, "If This Time." And he says, "If this time has taught me anything, it is that the tiny speck in this universe that we occupy is both wonderful and wondrous. And if we allow it to, the beauty around us can unlock the beauty within us and teach us far more than our schooling ever did. If this time taught me anything, it is that success and how we measure it needs to be redefined, and that the only person to whom you should ever compare yourself is who you were yesterday. Make your growth game strong, and along the way, be kind to yourself. If you are doing your best, then you are doing enough. If this time has taught me anything, it is that it is more important now than ever before to see the world through your own eyes. Begin by looking at yourself. Look honestly and look gently. Look inward with compassion and kindness, and look outward with humility and appreciation. If this time has taught me anything, it is that the opposite of love is not hate, but fear, and our greatest fear is losing that to which we have become attached. Yesterday is heavy, put it down. Seeing the beauty in the world around you is the first step in purifying and clearing your mind. And if this time has taught me anything, it is that nature, unlike us, never apologizes for her beauty. If this time has taught me anything, it is that life really is about the journey, not the destination. And it must be, for surely we are not here merely to reach the destination, for the destination is death. Be alive, for alive, after all of life is all you've got. And when you pay attention to the things for which you are grateful, you soon forget about what you are missing. If this time has taught me anything, it is that bitter tears are the quietest. And on the days when your head wants to hang low, it is important that you look up. Lift your head, take it in, and breathe deep. For while this world can sometimes be a hard place, your reality and what you perceive it to be are seldom aligned. If this time has taught me anything, it is that beauty really is in the eye of the beholder. We can see universes within universes, but only when we pay enough attention, and this is as true of the nature within us as it is of the nature around us. If this time has taught me anything, it is this: if true love conquers everything, then self-love gives it the fortitude to do so. Know that you are more than your scars. Know that every wound in you that has healed along the way has taught you what it is to fight back and to start again from where you are with what you've got. Beat your own pathway without seeking the approval of others, and know that self-love is not vanity. If this time has taught me anything, it is this: hope matters, and we cannot live without hope. This time has taught me that hope is not a wish, nor a desire for things to be different. It is a course of action, a combination of mind and heart. The future can be better and can be brighter, and we each have the power within us to make it so. There will be many challenges to face along the way, to which there are many solutions. There is a source of resilience deep within each one of us. If this time does not teach us that time itself is precious, then we will have missed the lesson. The lesson that never before have the past and the future been so irrelevant, and that the quest to find ourselves has been fruitless to now, only because we've been searching in all the wrong places. We are here, we are now. We are each and every breath we take. Every day is a gift to begin again and to grasp with both hands the fresh opportunity to learn, unlearn, and relearn, only if this time is not wasted. There are a few more messages of condolences that have come through.
afternoon to the friends and family of the Ruplal family and the late Dr. Praneel Ruplal. I have a few tributes that I'll be reading out shortly, and these are from the close family members, friends, and work colleagues of Dr. Praneel Ruplal. Dr. Praneel Ruplal was born on the 17th of January in 1975. He is the youngest son to Mrs. Ravati Ruplal and the late Mr. Haricharan Ruplal. He is the grandson of the late Sankar and Yuki Ruplal. He is the beloved husband of Sue Ruplal, the father to Shravan and Sunaina, the adored son-in-law of the late Mr. Satya and Mrs. Kala Suprasad, and the brother-in-law of Umam. Praneel was the youngest of 4 children, Rukesh, Roma, and Pradeep, being his elder siblings. As a young boy, he had a strong bond with his family, which continued even when he moved to Johannesburg, and he was very close to his Dadima as a young boy. Praneel hailed from Duffs Road in Durban and later attended Effingham Secondary, where he matriculated. He then attended the University of KwaZulu-Natal, where he obtained his BSc Electrical Engineering in 1999. This is also the time that his lifelong relationship with Suchitra began. The decision to move to Johannesburg was made when he landed the job at ICASA, the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, another lifelong partnership of Praneel. He was dedicated to ICASA, serving them devotedly and loyally, eventually rising to the ranks of Executive Engineering and Technology. Shravan was born in 2003 and Sunaina in 2006, and are the apple of Praneel and Sue's eyes. Praneel was a devoted father, spending endless time with his kids, both in play and doing projects together. Praneel's father was an educator and would have been very proud to see his 2 grandchildren excelling in their studies. I know that Praneel was exceedingly proud himself. Praneel had completed his PhD in engineering in 2017 at the Witwatersrand University. The thesis was titled An Innovative Approach to Regulation of Equipment Authorization in Developing Countries. I think it's apt to quote from page 4 of his thesis, the dedications page. These are Praneel's actual words to his family. I quote, "To my wife Suchitra, thank you for your love, patience, and understanding, and sometimes your brutal honesty. Shravan and Sunaina, thank you for accepting even when you did not understand. I will love you always. Dad, I wish you could have been here to witness this. This is for you, Dad. Mom, thank you for all your love and quiet encouragement and your support." On behalf of Sue, the Haricharan Ruplal family, and the extended Ruplal family, and the Suprasad family, thank you to everyone for your words of encouragement and strength during this difficult time. Praneel may have left us, but he will forever remain in our hearts. The next tribute that I read out to you is from Praneel's place of work, the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa. Dr. Praneel Ruplal was a member of the executive management team at the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, responsible for the Engineering and Technology Division. He was responsible for, amongst others, overseeing the development, coordination, and the management of the regulatory framework governing radio frequency spectrum, the development of equipment, technical standards, and technology research. He also represented the country as an ICASA technical expert at various international regulatory forums. His career at ICASA spans 20 years, having joined then the South African Telecommunications Regulatory Authority in June 2000, which later merged with ICASA. During this 20-year period, Dr. Ruplal invested a lot of time in his own development and in the development of others. As of 2008, he was a part-time lecturer at the Wits University, offering the module on spectrum management for telecommunication, policy, and regulation management course. In 2008, he obtained his Master's in Management degree from Wits University and subsequently completed a doctoral degree in 2018 with the same university, specializing in interdisciplinary digital knowledge economic studies. Dr. Ruplal led and managed a variety of strategic projects spanning across spectrum management, spectrum monitoring, quality of service monitoring, type approval standards, technology research, as well as engineering best practices. The authority is proud of his contribution and his legacy. ICASA has indeed lost a gentleman of great stature, a dedicated professional, and a calm leader. The Council of ICASA, its executive management, and all our staff have lost one of the best. His memory shall stay with us forever, as we will eternally reap the benefits of his teachings and of valuable work he performed for the organization over the past 20 years. We wish the family strength and fortitude during this difficult time. May his soul rest in eternal peace. The following tribute comes from Dr. Kebetswe Murimeng, who is a CASA Council Chairperson, and Mr. Wellington Dwepe, which is the CASA CEO. I read to you the following tribute from Praneel's eldest brother, Rukesh Ruplal. To my dearest Pran, you are my little brother by virtue of us being brothers, but I've always thought of you as a son. I remember so vividly the day you were born. I remember carrying you on my back. I remember your first steps and how you grew up as a young boy into a great man, a doctor. Alas, this missive is not meant as a goodbye, but as a see you soon. For life here in the world is finite and temporal, but perpetual life awaits us once we shed our mortal shell. I'm optimistic that I will see you again. You have left an indelible mark on your family, friends, colleagues, and the world at large. You've achieved heights and successes that most people could only ever dream about, whilst at the same time setting a good example and being the quintessential role model for your nephews, nieces, and children. Your legacy will be lasting and eternal, forever etched in the hearts of all of those you have profoundly touched. The old adage goes, behind every great man is a great lady. I like to think of it as, besides every great man, there is a great lady. And that lady is my sister-in-law, Sue. She has tirelessly been at my brother's side throughout this arduous journey. My promise to you, Sue, is I will always be there for you. Shravan and Sunena, love you all always. Rukesh Bhai, Big Daddy. My next tribute is read from Praneel's elder brother as well, Pradeep Ruplal. My dearest family, it is with the heaviest of hearts that I address you this afternoon. Words are not going to aptly describe the burden I feel right now on the loss of my dear beloved baby brother Praneel Ruplal. The pain and anguish of not being able to attend his funeral makes worse an already unbearable reality. Since I cannot make myself present in person, I would like to express to my dearest Sue, Shravan and Sunena that we share in the emptiness and brokenness they are presently enduring. There was a special, indescribable kind of bond that my baby brother Praneel and I shared that would forever be etched in the memory, not forgetting the overseas holidays we enjoyed together. He always referred to my house as a second home whenever attending meetings, functions, or holiday leisure visits. My wife Shana always referred to him as her baby Vaya, and my kids their Mana Kaka, a kind of pet name because Praneel always had a childish and playful approach with my children. Well, since we have to keep speeches short, I have to abruptly cut short my speech, although I could endlessly go on. There is so much more that I could endlessly speak about, his character, achievement, and approach to life. Yet with the humblest of nature, I am going to miss your advice, love, and support, and cannot even describe the shock, anger, numbness, and pain my family and I are enduring, and look to God Almighty for strength and courage to face the future. Suchitra, Shravan, and Sunena, please remember that I am going to support all your needs as your Big Daddy, and as Praneel would have expected me to. I love you, baby Baba Praneel, and thank you for the memories we created together. Love, Pradeep, Shana, Naish, Tarika, Ria, and baby Seth. The next tribute I read to you is from the Supersat Dukran family, a tribute to Praneel Ruplal. 2020 will undoubtedly go down as an extraordinary and bizarre year for us all. It's been a year that has challenged everything we held dear and thought we knew, redefined relationships and the ways of working, living, and being. From being active social beings, it has forced us to embrace physical distancing and to embrace new technologies as a means of communication, a field which Praneel excelled in. The depth of feelings at Praneel's unexpected death yesterday has been indescribable, and the outpouring of shock, distress, pain, and loss has reverberated across the various spheres Praneel navigated. As we gather today, albeit virtually, to mourn and bid our final farewells to Praneel, whose life was cut short by COVID, that stalks like a thief at night, we must seize this opportunity to acknowledge, celebrate, and give meaning to his short-lived life. It was a life defined by family, parenthood, academic success, and professional commitment, as evidenced by his portfolio as executive in engineering and technology at CASA. Praneel joined the extended Supersad Dukran family when he married Suchitra, the daughter of the late Satya and Kala Supersad, on 24th May 2000 in Durban. It is indeed true when it is said that you do not just marry the individual, but you rather marry the family. And that is exactly what happened to Praneel when he met and eventually joined our family. He was welcomed and embraced by all. From my grandmother, the late Mrs. Rajpati Dukran, who gave him the once over and described him as Sugar Bacha, and gave him his first Havan book, which signaled her approval and his initiation into the Arya Samaj Vedic way of life from the early 1990s, to the aunts who were charmed by his handsome, courteous and respectful demeanor, and the uncles and cousins with whom he could relate to on various subjects of common and varied interests, such as politics, sport, finance and music. I can still imagine him sitting and listening with a smile on his face, to the Superstar siblings being nostalgic and waxing lyrical about their childhood, family stories and golden oldies. But of all relationships, most importantly, he developed a strong relationship with Sue's parents. Satya and Kala, who relocated to Johannesburg after their retirement, together with Umang, they were able to provide their support to Praneel and Sue as they embraced their careers and parenthood over these last 2 decades. Their presence, ongoing encouragement, and physical and emotional support not only provided a nurturing environment for their grandchildren, Shravan and Sunaina, it underpinned Praneel's academic pursuits, and it was a moment of great pride for their family when he was awarded the PhD in 2018 and his subsequent professional rise and success within ICASA. To Sue, Shravan and Sunaina, in conveying our heartfelt condolences to you, words cannot fully describe the depth of our feelings at the moment. Know that your loss is our loss too. This comes too close on the heels of Nana's passing, and it will feel as if your whole world is shattered. As we try to make sense of his death and absence, let us not say in grief that he is no more, but rather take comfort and say in gratitude that he was. Let his dreams be his legacy and guide you as you take your steps into the future. I read to you the following tribute from Praneel's nieces and nephews. Good day to friends and family of the Ruplal family. It is with a heavy heart filled with great sadness and despair that I deliver this tribute here before you on behalf of all of Praneel Kaka's nieces and nephews. Praneel Kaka, you were a man in a million that was adored truly by everyone with your infectious smile and laughter that filled warmth and happiness to every room you entered. You leave us all with memories of a lifetime that we will fondly remember you by. I know God lent your special soul to us for a limited yet fulfilled time on this earth, in which you shaped the lives of all your nephews and nieces in ways that I hope you can now see and will continue to see from above. Our tribute to you stands in continuing your legacy that you built for yourself and the rest of our family through your hard work and dedication that you place towards education, professional and your personal life. We will truly miss you, Praneel Kaka. Make no mistake that whilst we have to accept that the beautiful life that you live has now called its time on earth, our family will forever have a void in our lives that will yearn for your reassuring love and support. To our beloved cousins, Shravan and Sunaina, your dad was like a real-life superhero to us, and I cannot imagine the role he played in the lives of you two. Please always know and remember that you two were the pride and joy of his life, and he was immensely proud of all your achievements. Your cousins will always be here for you, and together we'll ensure you walk the life that your dad wanted for both of you. Finally, our dearest Sukaki, the life you and Praneel Kaka led was nothing short of a fairy tale. We each admired the love you two shared for one another, and the undying support that ensured your family's success. Please know that we love and support you dearly as you steady this ship, and Praneel Kaka remains in your heart at every step of the journey that remains. Rest easy until we meet again. We love you eternally, Praneel Kaka. From Yashvir, Nikhil, Sohil, Naish, Shivek, Talika, Ria, and baby Seth. The next tribute I read to you is from Avishka, Praneel's brother-in-law. When we first met Praneel, he was studying engineering in Durban, and like any true engineer, he was very particular about how he wanted things done. It must be done right. That was what stood out when we met Praneel. After Praneel and Sue got married and moved to Johannesburg, we were always warmly welcomed whenever we visited. He was a kind of gracious person who never let us leave without joining him in a meal with the open invitation to do it again. As a father, his decisions were centered around his children, Shravan and Sunaina. I can recall telling me his plans for Shravan and Sunaina to use a golf cart or a scooter to get to school. He always had their interests at heart and always wanted them to have the best while experience the most life has to offer. As a family member, I can clearly recall his support during both Mommy's and Mama's illnesses. He was a pillar of strength, not just to Sue and Mom, but for the extended family as well during those difficult times, where his calm and clear disposition always helped put the family at ease. Despite his busy schedule, if I were to call him, he would always take time to engage and support, even on the most trivial issues. Like when I had an issue with my aunt's phone line and asked for some assistance and advice, and he was more than happy to oblige. He was a brother to us all and always looked out for our best interests. Whenever having a discussion, his advice was both forthright and sincere. To Sue, Shravan, and Sunaina, we can only imagine the grief of losing your husband and father in the prime of his life. He was a pillar of your lives, but know that his strength still lives on in you, and the pillar will stand with you forever in our hearts and memories. Farewell, Praneel. My final tribute to read today is from Kushal Rampasad, a dear friend of Praneel. Praneel and I shared a brotherhood that spanned over 30 years. We had our own special way of greeting each other, and while these words may not seem appropriate for a funeral, I'd like to say them one more time, not as a greeting, but rather as a farewell to my beloved friend and brother. I quote, "Shut your mouth and do your drawing," close quote, is how Praneel and I always greeted each other in conversations. The reason why is that we sat next to each other in our technical drawing class, and our teacher would always shout at us for talking too much. So this phrase was carried into our adulthood as a tribute to our naughty and in-class antics. Praneel, you wrote and delivered my best man speech at my wedding, and here I am writing this for you at your funeral. I am gutted. Praneel, to me, you were always and will be my hero. Knowing that I had you in my life, there was a comfort in my support structure. You took charge in everything you achieved. The priceless advice that you shared with me will forever be etched in my heart. Your quality in whatever you did was of the highest level. The way you loved Sue, Shravan, and Sunaina and everyone around you was timeless. You were my benchmark and will always be that. There will never be another brother who can fill those shoes. You stood by me in my failures and celebrated my successes without any judgment. Praneel, I'm going to miss our man-to-man conversations. I don't have that brother to share experiences that I could only share with you. I'll forever be proud of you until we meet again in heaven. The time in between, I don't know how to endure with you. I love you, and I thank you for your love. Kushal.
Thank you, Surit. Friends, as we proceed with this afternoon's program, I have one short bhajan to sing. I find the words of this bhajan very appropriate. The meaning in English is, as we lose our loved ones, we don't know where they go. Don't even look for them, because they do not leave any footprints. They don't write to us. As with the changing of seasons, they disappear as a dark cloud. जाने चले जाते हैं कहाँ, दुनिया से जाने वाले, जाने चले जाते हैं कहाँ, कैसे ढूंढे कोई उनको, नहीं कदमों के भी निशान, दुनिया से जाने वाले, जाने चले जाते हैं कहाँ, जाने है वो, जाने है वो कौन नगरिया, आए जा खबरियाँ आए जब जब उनकी यादें, आए होठों पे फरियादें, जाके फिर ना आने वाले, जाने चले जाते हैं कहाँ, दुनिया से जाने वाले, जाने चले जाते हैं कहाँ। साथी साथी जैसे दीपक बाती, मुझसे बिछड़ गए तुम ऐसे, सावन के जाते ही जैसे, उड़ के बादल काले काले, जाने चले जाते हैं कहाँ, दुनिया से जाने वाले, जाने चले जाते हैं कहाँ। कैसे ढूंढे कोई उनको, नहीं कदमों के भी निशान, दुनिया से जाने वाले, जाने चले जाते हैं कहाँ। We will commence with the Antyeshti Sanskar. The Antyeshti prayer has a few mantras selected from the holy Hindu scripture, the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita. I will explain each mantra in English for our understanding. Thereafter we will chant the Shanti part and we will proceed to antechamber. Tvamadidevaha Purusha Puranas, Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam, Vedasi Vedyan Cha Param Cha Dhama, Tvaya Tatam Vishwamanam Tarupa. Almighty God, who has been with us since creation, who is the supreme treasure of this vast universe, you are the knower, the knowledge, and the final resting place for all beings. You are the infinite presence in whom all things are. You pervade the entire universe. We seek courage, fortitude, and shelter in you. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihanati naro aparani tatha sharirani vihai jirnanyanyani sanyati navani dehi. Just as a person discards an old garment and puts on one that is new, so the soul leaves the body at death and takes on a new one. The soul does not perish with the body. O Lord, may we take courage from this truth. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin, nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha, ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano, nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Never is the soul born, never does it die, unborn and eternal, beyond times gone by or yet to come. The soul does not die when the body dies. May we understand this truth, O God. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayanta na shoshayati marutaha. In the Gita, Lord Krishna says to his best friend Arjuna, weapons cannot cut the soul, fire cannot burn it, the waters cannot wet it, the wind cannot dry it. O son of India, this being the case, why do you grieve so much? And then he goes on and he says, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad pariharyerte na tvam shochitum arhasi. He says to Arjuna, He who takes birth must certainly die. He who dies must certainly be born again. Knowing this truth, why do you grieve so much, O friend? But you see, we are mortal beings, and we have not reached the heights and depths of spiritual enlightenment like Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, and Lord Hanuman. So take this time to grieve. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyakta nidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. All beings are invisible before birth. They are invisible again after death. We see only the mortal being in its existing lifespan. O God, grant us the wisdom to accept this truth. Om Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastam Tameva Viditvati Mrityum Eti Nanya Pantha Vidyate Yanaya. O Supreme, the Supreme Absolute Being is full of splendor, like the sun untainted by darkness. There is no other path to salvation and eternal bliss than by getting to know God. May we be blessed with the wisdom to know Him. Om Ya Atmada Balada Yasya Vishwa Upasate Prashishang Yasya Devaha Yasya Chaya Amritang Yasya Mrityu Kasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema. In this hour of distress, we need you, O God, who alone can give us physical vigor and spiritual strength. All blissful divinity, whose grace is immortality, whose praises are sung by all enlightened persons, we offer our humble prayer and entreat you to lessen our sorrow. Om Suryam Chakshur Gachatu Vatam Atma Dhyancha Gacha Prithivimcha Dharmana Apova Gacha Yadi Tatra Te Hitam Oshadhishu Pratitishta Sharireha. O Supreme Lord, may all the components of this body be merged into the 5 elements of this universe. May its vision be absorbed into the sun, its breath into the atmosphere, and its other senses into the appropriate elements. May the soul, according to the noble deeds performed here, dwell in a body worthy of such merit. Om Sham Agne Paschat Tapasham Purastacham Uttaracham Adharat Tapainam Ekastredha Vihito Jatavedaha Samyagenam Dehi Sukritamuloke. O God, who is self-luminous, who dispenses justice even-handedly, and who rewards everyone justly, may the soul of this body find peace in every direction. O omniscient and all-illuminating Lord, the creator, sustainer, and dissolver of this universe, may the soul be given a worthy abode. Om Sangachaswa Pitribihi Samyamenam Putrena Parame Vyoman Hitavaya Dham Punarastamehi Sangachatam Tanva Suvarchaha. O God, may the soul by its austerity, enlightenment, and good deeds attain like its forebears a suitable state. May it be free from all blemishes and once again inherit an enlightened body full of luster and return to this world to perform noble deeds. Om Vayur Anilam Amritam Atedam Bhasmantam Shariram. Om Krato Smara Klibe Smara Kritam Smara. Almighty God, this soul is immortal. It is not made of the 5 elements. The mortal body will be reduced to ashes and will be disposed of suitably. May we ever remember you in every deed that we perform. Om Eka Eva Suridharmo Nidanepya Anuyatiyaha Sharirena Sammam Nasham Sarvam Anyadhi Gacchati. Almighty God, all material links perish with the death of the body. It is only one's good deeds or dharma that remains with the soul after death. May this dharma never be allowed to perish. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. O Supreme Spirit, lead us from untruth to truth. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortal bliss. Before we chant the Shanti Path, I would like to, on behalf of the family, pay tribute and acknowledge with deep gratitude the services of funeral director Mr. Pratish Chiba from Puni's Funeral Parlor, who does an outstanding professional job for all of us in Gauteng. Please stand.